Welcome back to Markets and Macros. Well, we are not welcoming you with very good news. The markets have been a little damp. But perhaps there is something positive for first-time investors in the budget. Remember the RGESS scheme? Well, that's our topic for discussion on a personal finance segment today. Let's welcome Sumeet Vaid of Freedom Financial Planners, who will be the expert today. Sumeet, that's the question. You know, the RGESS, Rajiv Gandhi Equity Savings Scheme, has got some more SOPs added to it. The limit has been increased. The time period for which they can put in their money has been increased. Is all this good enough? How has been the performance on the ground, and what would you advise people to do?
Definitely, RGESS has come up with the enhanced features into it, so more steroids in it in terms of taking call from retail investors' point of view. You know, so the limit has gone up from 10 lakhs to 12 lakhs. That's positive because that now covers 30% tax bracket people also. That means if you go by the pure simple mathematics, there's a potential to save 7,500 rupees, which was earlier only 5,000. And I think second, that it's spread out over 3 years also is an advantage because it helps you, to take this benefit over 3 years period. So I think the goodies are very much an advantage. And then another thing which is a byproduct of this, Lata, is that, finance minister and government is trying to encourage people to open demat accounts because somewhere equity cult and a culture has to built in. Right now foreigners are buying more equity than Indians, and then we cannot let that happen. I always call this as an East India concept part 2 because last time they came and take away our wealth. This time FIs are coming and taking away our wealth. So retail investors, it's a great boon. To get in.
That's an ideological. That's an ideological slant. We will keep that out and stick to our retail investors. Just one more question on the Rajiv Gandhi scheme. From the coffee table conversations I have had, it is not really. I don't know how many of the uninvested or new investors are coming in, but a lot of people who know about markets are probably looking for it in the names of their sons or their relatives who have not already invested in markets. Is that how it can be interpreted? Is that a legitimate or is that an available loophole, or is it that something has been put in and you can't quite use this kind of a ploy to get a relative in who doesn't have share positions already?
It's not a loophole, Lata. It's a normal product, picking up kind of an order which happens because most of the time these kind of products with these kind of tax benefit doesn't take off immediately. If you go back, even the ELSS schemes took their own time to really build up, and even with RGSS. So the most knowledgeable customers are the ones who will try and take the benefit of these kind of features in tax planning, and others will follow suit slowly and effectively. But one good thing which has started happening is in the intermediation circles, people have started going back to the investors and started talking about it. I think that's a big difference which has happened because of RGSS, which was not there earlier, and that's a very big positive.
Fair enough. We have to take a break. We'll come back with more questions for you, Sumeet.
Hi, welcome back to the show. It's still status quo for our market, so we're still down close to about 35-40 odd points. But a quick check on the currency market, that's a more telling indicator of the weakness that we're currently seeing. The dollar rupee has gotten worse, so that's sitting at about 55.10 or so. Even the euro dollar, I think it briefly slipped to 1.29, and that's the lowest level that we've seen in quite a few weeks or so, just hanging on to that 1.30 level. And like we were telling you, the Chinese government is trying its best to take the steam out of the real estate sector, including a new property capital gains tax, increasing the disincentives, etc. And that really is causing a 4% slide now on the Shanghai market, the lowest point of trade over there. But we're talking about our own markets. Let's shift focus away from the equities and talk about personal finance. Sumeet Vaid of Freedom Financial Planners has been sitting by with us. Sumeet, we have a caller who joins in, so let's take his query quickly. Amol Nawale calls in from Nagpur. Hi Amol, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, madam.
Hi, बताइए आपका सवाल क्या है?
I want to ask that I want to purchase one health insurance policy for myself. I am 35-year-old,
okay,
and my daughter is 6-year-old. I want to purchase a health insurance policy for both of us, and I will prefer ICICI. What care should I take for that?
Okay, fair enough. Very simple question over there, Sumeet. He prefers ICICI health insurance, but if there are any other, schemes that you would recommend to him, and also he wants to know, are there any important terms and conditions to keep in mind while procuring the policy?
Sure. ICICI Lombard is a good product to have. They have pretty good servicing and very good technology to support, which will help you buy these policies. But along with this, if you can look at claim settlement ratio, and along with this, if you can look at what kind of servicing team they have. Do they have an internal servicing team, or they have a third-party servicing team? If these two filters can also be played, it'll help you buy a good product. So keeping these two filters, we'll advise, along with ICICI Lombard, if you can look at Bajaj Allianz, because Bajaj Allianz has one of the better claim settlement ratios in the industry, and they have in-house third-party or in-house servicing team, which helps you settle your claims much more effectively over a period of time. Another factor is loading. That means, if you try and go in for increased cover or later point of time, what kind of loading happens. So that's where it's comparative between ICICI and Bajaj Allianz. But between ICICI and Bajaj Allianz, you can choose any one of them.
All right, that's the advice. Sumeet, really appreciate you taking time out for us today. Thank you very much for joining us. Just a word on the markets at this point in time. The continuing dampness in the indices is all we have to report. Things not really looking up. Nifty Junior down about 0.9%, so trading sentiment still very bad. Let's take a break. We'll shift focus now and get to media. Prashant Pandey, the Executive Director and CEO of ENIL, will join us to throw some light on the various measures announced for radio licenses in the budget.